Cucumber, salt, and vinegar. That's how do they make a pickle? Pickles grow on trees?
No, it's come from a cucumber.
So how does a cucumber become a pickle?
It's fermented.
How does it become fermented?
And vinegar.
How do you get the vinegar? Vinegar just falls out the sky.
No.
You take a cucumber, put it in a jar, put some water,
Right.
seal it up.
Mm-hmm.
No oxygen, no air. The cucumber is dead already because it's separated from the vine.
Well,
it
yes.
begins to do what through time?
Ferment.
And decompose.
Right.
As a waste product, it produces acetic acid, vinegar.
God, that's cold blood.
That's
boy.
what vinegar
Hey,
is.
you gonna need some bodyguards.
So acid.
Keep on.
So apple cider vinegar, they're telling you it's the decomposition from the apples that you can use. It's fermented. Use it medicinally. You can even drink it for medicinal purposes, but it has excellent health benefits. So I'm not saying it's you can't use it, but that's it. So yes.
Wait, hold on, Wendy. Whoa, wait, hold on, because we're hitting another hour. The views expressed are not those of the University of Missouri St. Louis or those of the Need to Know show. You can tune in by joining us at www.UMSL Radio.com.
And we now know that vinegar do not come from JJ's, okay? So it
No. Now you know.
No, yeah.
Yeah, now you know.
Right.
We nobody suspected that but you.
I ain't hear y'all say nothing.
No, we just
Y'all
look.
thought-
Listen, we either look or we laugh. We either look or we laugh.
But Doc, I noticed
produced
that
grease.
someone had told me sometime back that oregano oil was a natural immune system builder.
Yes.
And oftentimes when my children have colds and if I experience something, whatever it is, before it onsets, I start taking oregano oil.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do it for that period of time, but I was told that you can do it for all the time. Now, I'm asking that to make an understanding or get an understanding whether I should do it continuously if I'm doing something natural, or should I do it on the onset of whatever the germ is that I'm trying to fight off?
That's an excellent question. I get that quite frequently, and the way I like to answer it is this: how often should we eat?
Every day.
Okay.
As I'm hungry,
Okay. Why?
so you don't overload one time.
Well, no. Why do we have to eat? We said it earlier.
energy.
We eat to live. So you need to consume the products that your body needs to live, right?
All right.
So what does that got to do with what you asked me? You continue to take that as long as there's a need.
Mm-hmm.
If you got an illness or problem, take it. Once the problem subsides or is cured, stop. Because you can become toxic on that. See? Too much of a good thing, yes. Okay. So you don't want to continuously take it because then your body builds up a tolerance. And after it builds a tolerance, it's like, let's put it somewhere, it's like, did you know that the colds and flus that are prevalent now are not the same ones that they were last year?
What?
The strain is different.
Because they mutate.
They
mutate. So why should you keep, I'm touching something.
Here you go.
Why should you get a vaccination for last year's virus?
Right.
Last year's virus is mutated. That's why every year you have to get a new vaccine.
Right.
And I'm not going to go there because you all will be put off the air if I say what I say because I know too many people that will.
Yeah, I had the flu twice. And I had two different strains of the flu, and I found out that what they do is they take the most popular strain from the previous year, and that's what they vaccinate you for the year after.
Well, it's a guess for them.
Yeah, but also the vaccines are composed of elements that are designed for a specific purpose, and it's not to keep you from being.
I know what it is. I know what it is.
It has to do with the depopulation process, and also to take some of us out of here. But that's another story.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I wanted to.
Hey, Doc, I didn't stamp that part. Like you said, let me walk out first. No, I was kidding.
No matter where you walk, you're going to be accosted by them because it's the law. You have to have certain vaccinations for your children attend school and so forth. Even if you work in some place of employment, you have to have DPT. You have to have hep fighters and so forth. But that's
when you go out the country too.
Yes, there's a reason for that, and it's not for health. Trust me, it's not. And you can Google that. Let me ask you this, and I have to take a brief pause.
Okay.
The pause is to make sure my legs are in good condition from sitting in case I got to run up out of here. Okay, let me give you all a quiz. Super quiz. True or false? I don't eat refined sugar every day.
That's false.
False.
Oh, you don't win anything except information knowledge, by the way.
Everything a competition.
How about this one?
Thinking in the competition.
Hey, the prize is season tickets to the University of North Carolina basketball.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Duke fans.
Okay, number 2. I can go more than a day without eating some kind of sugar-containing food.
True.
I can go.
can.
Wait a minute. I can go. I can
You
go.
can, but do you?
I can go.
True.
Okay. Number 3, I never have cravings for sugar, coffee,
Oh, that's
chocolate,
False.
peanut butter, or alcohol.
Oh, that's false.
That's false. That's a lie.
I have never hidden sweets around the house so I can eat them later.
Oh, false.
That's true.
That's true. I don't hide it.
Because you just eat them. That's
I'm grown.
Okay.
I hide my stash.
Honesty is the best policy. It is.
hide mine.
How about this one? I can stop eating one bite of pastry or one piece of candy.
True.
Let me
No, I ain't
toss
gonna
this.
be able to-
One bite of a
Let me toss this commercial. There's a reason why I'm asking these true or false questions. For those of us who've been around a little bit, there was a popular brand of potato chip that they still sell. The company is Lay's. I'm not giving you guys a plug, but they had a commercial that was popular for years.
Can't eat just one.
Can't eat just one. Why is that not possible?
Yeah, I think it's
They
because
have
of the
chemicals
salt.
that are physiologically
Not the salt,
addictive.
but that's what I thought. Because the salt.
Got some sugar.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
sugar.
Yeah, like monkey.
No.
Like monkey.
Oh, my God.
Did you say
Mr.
what?
Phosphorus.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Did you say something about a monkey or something? Is that what okay. I don't know, but whatever it is, we need to stop eating it, to stop causing it. Okay, so the reason I mentioned that, and what does that got to do with the reason I'm asking this question? Many of the foods that we consume are addictive by purpose. For instance, when I'm asking these questions about sugar, sugar is totally addictive. Many of us cannot stop the craving that we have. You ever heard the term a sweet tooth? Mm-hmm. There's no such creature as a sweet tooth. How's your tooth sweet? Come on now. It's language. So we're talking about an addiction. We don't like to use the term addiction when it comes to sugar. So we say I have a craving. I have a desire. So the manufacturers who do the Lay's products, they know that. And again, don't take my word for it. Google it. They have actual laboratories. I've seen one. Quite frightening. Frankenstein has nothing on these people. If you go to your average supermarket and walk down the snack food aisle, you'll see every flavored potato chip that's on this planet. They even have chicken and waffles potato chips.
Yeah.
You seen
That's
those?
desired for me.
Now, chicken and waffles.
They had me. I was in that market. I was in the test kitchen.
Oh, that's it. Mm-hmm. You hit it.
I tell you, I'm thoroughly enjoying
I
this.
got bootleg snacks that came out yet.
Okay, well,
like Baby D.
Yeah. All right.
Y'all ain't with it. That's that next Friday reference.
Claude and Ray.
okay, as we come back to the potato chip, chicken and waffles, the reason why you have so many flavors is because those flavors, they actually perform tests and have surveys to determine what the human body craves. And how do they make someone crave something that you don't know? You have to know about the taste buds. Now, our tongue, we have over these thousands of sensors on our tongue, which picks up all these flavors. Very sensitive. But it only picks up 4 major tastes. What are they?
Sweet,
salty.
hot.
No, hot's not a flavor. Hot's a temperature.
Sour.
So sweet, salty,
Spicy.
spicy is not one.
Sour.
Sweet, salty, sour, and bitter.
Bitter. Yeah.
Those 4.
Okay.
They know that. So if they can manipulate that, they can actually stimulate you. No, bad word. They can actually addict you to purchase that which you normally wouldn't buy as a combination. Chicken and waffles and potato chips do not mix. But we buy them. We even got pizza flavored potato chips. What? We even got molasses and onion potato. We got vinegar potato chip. How can they do that? So Lay's found out the secret. That's when they first started. And they didn't talk about it in the media. It was 2 decades ago when they started talking about the human genome. They mapped it. They can tell They can break down the chromosome and tell what this disease, what you're prone to. But Lay's had cracked that code decades before because they recognize that if we can manipulate the taste buds, we can make you become addictive to purchasing our product. Thus, they put the commercial says Lay's potato chips. No one can eat just one. That's not just a slogan. They're saying once you consume that product, your taste buds become perverted, addicted, attached to it. That gene hooks up in your brain, says, I need more. It's like an addiction. So they couldn't say Lay's potato chip, get addicted today. They simply said you cannot eat just one. That's why. That's why they say that. So what does it have to do with sugar? Sugar is the same way. So these questions I'm asking you, sugar is designed, it's a toxic poison. Did you know in Japan, 3rd century, before the samurai, the Ronin,
they got your window,
I see,
got your window.
I see. That's okay. I know kung fu. Okay, so what they did was when the Ronin or the samurai committed harakiri, seppuku, they used the short blade to disembowel themselves, but that was translated to another way to torture the person to cause them to commit suicide. Know how they did that? Injected sugar. Sugar will take you out like that, full strength. They know that. Intravenously. Am I making that up? No. If anybody has ever been to the hospital, when they have to give you an IV, the number one fluid is called D5W, dextrose in water. When you see that plastic bag,
$50 a bag.
That is 5% sugar. The rest of it is that fluid is saline or water, and that goes in your vein. The sugar is a mechanism that has that chemical to go across the blood barrier to get the cells into your brain. If you take straight shot of straight glucose and sugar, you'll be dead in the doornail. And they knew that. So that's why sugar is addictive. Your brain says, oh, man, that felt good. Get some more. And many of us, that's why Krispy Kreme is so popular. Not because of the flour and the dough, it's because of the sugar. Glazed donuts will override any kind of other healthy product. If you put a box of 12 donut thing of Krispy Kreme in front of us right now, and I put some fruits and vegetables, you all probably kill me to get to them donuts.
Yes, I'll
that's an addiction. And they know that. Even in our communities, we're bombarded by salt, fat, and sugar because they control this.
And red dye.
And we do the red dye. So they get you on our side. They're going to get you with the chemicals. They're going to get you with the fat. They're going to get you with the salt. They're going to get you with the sugar. Therefore, you're keeping the renal companies, dialysis in business. You're keeping the people who produce the cancer drugs in business. Oh, by the way, cancer... the advent of one of the major drugs they use in, can I talk about it?
Yeah.
Chemotherapy is Cytoxin. Cytoxin is the drug they used in the war when they were fighting the Viet Cong. When they were going in America were being wiped out. Not Agent Orange, that's another process. And they were fighting in the forest, in the woods, and they were hiding, and they couldn't see them.
And they had to kill the trees.
And the drug, the one who invented the chemical, he's a physician. He's the one who became the grandfather of chemotherapy. That drug is called Cytoxin. It kills all cells and foliage.
Right.
So that's the drug they use in chemotherapy.
I read an article by John Hopkins, and it explained about how you can starve cancer. If there's a way you can change your diet and starve cancer as opposed to chemotherapy.
There are 1,000 ways. Cancer is a curable illness. Cancer is no different from having pneumonia, tuberculosis. What? That's radical. No, that's the truth. But have you ever seen the commercials? I'm all over the place. Have you ever seen the commercials when they have the run for cancer? To find a cure, And they've been doing that for years. They ain't found no cure yet, but they're still getting rich. Why do we have the pink ribbon? You'd be amazed what that actually means. It doesn't have anything to do with cancer survivor. I'm not disrespecting, praise God, that you survive. But it doesn't mean I've survived cancer. That pink ribbon means something totally different. So our medical system is jacked up. Like the kids say, is tore up from the floor.
Right.
But that's all we know, so that's all that we do. So these are some natural things to do. So talking about sugar, the human body doesn't need sugar. That's the refined sugar. All the sugar that your body needs, you can get from your fruits. Did you know that? Now, what's more healthy? If you guys are in the sports, if you need energy, you're kind of feeling weak and just run down,
a banana or something.
I need a power bar. Why not eat a fig? Did you know the fig has every vitamin and nutrient and mineral that the body needs?
The boo-boo cookies?
I don't know about those, but I mean the fig, not fig Newtons. The fig, the actual fig, yes. And while we're talking about the same fig that has all the, listen, beloved, the same fig that has all the nutrients to give your body the energy that you need, where it's not going to give you a quick high and drop you down like sugar will, that same fig will heal boils, stings, bite, and it works on tumors. It works on tuberculosis. It works on certain forms of cancerous melanomas. The fig will do that. And those you all who read your word, you find, as the Manichae told the man to make a poultice and put figs on it, but he'll. See, it's
now,
it's
where
natural.
do we get figs at now? I don't.
Whole
see
Foods.
Yeah.
Whole Foods.
And some of the figs are seasonal because we don't grow figs here. Right. They're shipped in, but be careful when you buy them because if you find in the produce section, you see them over there, you got black figs, brown, green figs, all kinds. The one thing that keeps the fig, you got to, as they said, you got to get out more. Okay, so the reason I'm saying that, I'm very serious because when you get your figs in the produce section, be careful because they're sprayed with sulfur dioxide. How do you know that? Take your finger, scrape it. You can buy figs. Ask the person who sells them, are these organic? Will they ship your figs? And when you get them, like the pear has the skin, you can eat the entire skin, but I would suggest you peel that sucker. Then you can do that. Figs have the little multi-seeds in the inside.
But didn't they always say the vitamins were in the skins?
The vitamins are in the skin, but the problem is your vitamins has a cousin called pesticide. It's best to divorce that cousin.
That's right.
Cut the skin off. The vitamin, remember, the fig doesn't grow with the vitamins just on the outside. They're all throughout the fig. But the large accumulation is in the skin. That's why when we buy our fruits, we like to peel stuff. I think you touched on the pesto. Did you know every part of the orange, every part of the lemon, you can consume? We peel it and throw it away. Even banana peels, medicinal. We pitch them. Oh, by the way,
there you go.
I knew this one.
There you go.
I was going to say it. Can I say it?
Say it.
Real bananas have seeds in them.
Did you know that?
Beaumont, 3 points.
Dang. PHL scored again.
Gold buzzer on that one, y'all.
What you talking about is called plankton.
But see, beloved, but this is serious. Did you know what is the ethnic derogatory fruit that they say that us's like to eat?
That pickle.
N-word fruit.
That
watermelon.
That in pickle.
You can't find with the seed.
What? I'm gonna have to get that book you got your vocabulary from. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to get that. But the watermelon.
The watermelon.
Did you know that watermelons are an excellent source of many of your vitamins and minerals? It's an excellent diuretic, which makes you pee, get rid of excess toxic stuff. But did you know that most of the watermelons that us's like to buy are the seedless kind? Leave that alone.
Yes.
GMO, leave it alone. Don't buy it. I don't care how cheap it is. A cousin blow on the corner selling out of his pickup truck, leave that thing. Seeds have to be in the watermelon. If it's not, it's not. And I'm not talking about hybrids or things that are mutated. You don't want to buy those seedless watermelon. Why do we buy them in the first place? It's for fashion and etiquette. Lazy. By that, laziness. If I'm entertaining you at my home and you've had dinner and now I have some fruit for dessert, I got to put it in my nice china, give you some nice little doilies, and when I bring the watermelon, it's going to be cubed, no seeds, so you don't have to act like you're ignorant and spit. Mm-hmm. That's why we do that. Eat the watermelon, and the push comes to shove, eat the seeds.
My brother had a yellow watermelon the other day.
Yeah, that's the flesh itself. Now, another thing, we can be culturally bereft over here in the U.S. of A. What I mean by that is the fruits and veggies that we see, we think that's all there are in the world. No, there are fruits that we haven't even seen over here. There are various islands that have stuff that they look like it from another land, another planet. But we're just accustomed to what we see. We've been isolated in a sense. If I know a lot of kids when I was lecturing in the inner city, and I would ask them, so what's your favorite fruit? And they would tell me stuff that was, apples, oranges, peaches, pear. And I would say some stuff that we have, and they thought I was speaking another language. You ever seen a kumquat? A cum who?
Ooh.
How about the kiwi? Ki what?
Yeah.
And they don't know because they're not exposed. And if they're exposed, they're taught that it's not good for you. Let me ask you this. Then I really have to take a break. Have you ever seen a coconut that's in our stores here?
Yeah.
A real coconut. I don't mean a coconut cream puff pie. Coconut.
I ain't seen none here.
How do they look?
This one was already shelled.
They green.
That had the meaty whiteness.
I ain't seen the hairy one.
I haven't.
That's good.
Seen the one
Did you know when you see them, they're hairy? What color are they?
brown.
Those are old.
Yeah, they're green when they come off the tree.
When they come off the tree, coconuts are not brown on the tree.
Yeah, they green.
They're green, orange, yellow, and gold.
That's what I've seen in other countries.
When we get them, they're old, they're hairy, they're decomposed, dead, dying. And we crack them open, we drink the milk, and we eat the meat, the flesh. But those are old.
Oh,
We don't grow coconuts over in Missouri, you know that, don't you?
Right.
Yeah.
So everything's imported. So that means it can be in the box and the crate on the shelf for a month for them to get to us, and then we see it thinking it's fresh. No, it's not. So having said that, I'm gonna give you all some time to digest what I said, and I'm gonna come back. And I'm gonna
One
share
quick
some
question
stuff that will make you want to run up out of here. Yes.
One quick question.
Yes.
On the meats, you didn't go into that and tell them about that ain't blood in the meats, because my buddy, our buddy, I should say, he just texted us and asked, what's the best way to clean your meats? And I don't even feel comfortable asking you that question because he violated the man law. But
look, I got a question. Don't answer it now. Don't answer it now. Take a break.
Let me go out and I'll come right back for state's identification and for bladder control. Okay, so I will be right back and I'll answer those questions.
Yeah,
so let's run through some stuff real quick while we wait on the doctor to come back.
Do we have a 911 roll call?
No, we didn't have a 911 roll call, but we had some stories that was just as bad. So we'll shoot through those real quick while the doctor runs to the bathroom. First of all, I hope she's still around right now, because when we started off the day, she was in bad shape. I haven't seen anything to say otherwise. Aretha Franklin is on hospice care. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to, real quick, now you got to be quick because I know you're a golfer. You can break these terminologies down. You want to tell about the PGA tour you went to this weekend? And I can't even pronounce the winner's name. I know Tiger came close.
It's Brooks. The winner was Brooks Koepka. He a bad boy. He a bad boy, man. That's all I can say. Yeah, he's a bad boy. Out of the 7 majors he done played in, he skipped one. He's won 3 of them. So he's a force to be dealt with. So long as he playing, Tiger might not win one if he's playing.
Well, and we had a good turnout in St. Louis.
Because Tiger was in this one, bro.
Hey, man.
Tiger he came back from where he was. The score Tiger shot in any past majors, he would have won it.
That's right.
But this kid Koepka, nasty.
Okay, hey, Duke Twin, I got a subject for everybody. Let him handle the golf one. Mm-hmm. I got another one coming.
Yeah.
We got more. Everybody gonna get a topic.
Yeah, Tiger was nasty. Tiger brought so much money here. Matter of fact, on this PGA Championship, they boosted it
70%. I heard.
Yeah, they boosted the pot because he's here, and the St. Louis region made over $100 million.
Good deal
in retail and hotels and food and everything else. So
$2 million in hat sales in the first week.
Yeah.
All right.
And I bought one.
So Duke Twin or Kyle, we got another one. Which one of y'all want to handle the football protest this weekend?
Go ahead, KB.
All right. So the football protests, the NFL protests are still going on. I have a very what I feel is an interesting take on it, but it'll take a while to go through. But remember what I said. Now it's kind of evolving into a what the orange idiot said, that basically anybody who protests should be fined and suspended. Now, he ain't got nothing to do with the NFL. They clearly, took a lot of measures for him, because remember he owned a team in the USFL, and then he ran the league and ran it into the ground, just like he does with all of his businesses. Okay, so he also tried to buy the Buffalo Bills back in 2014. They don't want him in their club. So what I don't really understand is why so many owners are kind of kowtowing to this ignorance that he's spewing. A whole different subject, but now it's turning into the only reason why the players are I think one of the main reasons why they're still doing this is because they've been threatened not to do it. So now it's getting into a stubborn, urination contest kind of thing, and everybody is still hijacking the message. In short, my take on it is this: let's move on from the kneeling. because obviously no matter what we say or what we do, that form, they're focused on the taking the knee. Let's remove that from the conversation. Now what's your problem with it? Because let's do something else, and also put some of these things in action. I've said this, and I want to spend some time on it. Maybe we'll do it next week or the week following, depending on how it kind of develops. But let's move on to something that everybody is going to get behind. Let's get the NFL and push them to begin an equality month, just like they got breast cancer awareness, just like they do military veterans or whatever they call it, the month of November. Let's push for an equality month. Then you'll have people that are. How can you say you're against equality? Now there are a lot of people that are, but what is that really going to say about you? You can't hide behind anything when you say you're against equality. So that is going to pull support from all kind of different genres, whole different types of people that are going to support that potentially. Women will support that. Any other minority will support that. The LGBTQ community will support that. Everyone will have a dog in the fight, so to speak. So I think it gets a lot deeper than that, but I say, I would prefer kind of moving on from that because they've hijacked it so much and they won't allow the real message to go forward.
But you can't hijack. I mean, you can't move from it because the original stance was black men being violated. Yeah. So you would take this broad subject as equality and they'll spin it towards something else. Equality in what? Jobs, schooling, something else. No, our real message was
they won't let
that come forth.
We're gonna debate that again next week. So we're gonna get everybody's take on something. So Dukeman Twin, Wendy Woe, which one of y'all want to go next? I got one for you, retired officer. So you good?
Yep, go.
You want to go?
Yeah.
Dukeman Twin. Okay, so Dukeman Twin, we'll give you the two stories. We'll give you the man. This. So we didn't have a 911 roll call, which is normally your deal, but so we got the man.
911 roll call.
Well, it wasn't really. It didn't. They didn't call nobody, but the man who tied up and sexually assaulted the 14-year-old girl will serve no jail time. These are your two topics, and the other one was the shooter getting arrested. I'm sorry, in Florida, in Clearwater, on the stand your ground case.
You
got both of those.
Okay, going back to the shooting in Florida, the police chief came out and just adamantly said, it was stand your ground. That's what he initially said, but finally he seemed to have said that before someone got in his ear and advised him, this guy's bagging away from him. Yes, he did push him, but immediately after he pushed him, he started bagging away because he was trying to get the guy away from his wife or girlfriend. So he had no right to shoot this guy and kill him.
He was the aggressor in the situation.
He was the aggressor. Now
he took it to another level. I'll put it like that.
I talked to my niece was asking me about this because when she found out he was arrested, she called me and she read the article. Now, in the article, it says that the lady said that the gentleman parked behind her and blocked their car in, but that's not. I'm not sure why the article said that because that wasn't true.
Okay,
so. Wherever she read the article about, I told her it wasn't true because you just watched the video.
Okay, I think he was upset that they parked in the handicap.
Yeah, he was. He got put to work.
He walked behind the vehicle.
Yeah, he did walk behind the vehicle, check the plate, went to the front of the vehicle, and then start to
harass the girlfriend.
So and then the 14. I don't know about that story.
Okay, I got you then. So basically, there was a guy who sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl. And they let him off with no jail time. And so the whole point of this is, and I'm not going to, we can go into it next week, I'm sure, with a bunch of other stories. But the whole point of that is, here's a guy who assaulted a 14-year-old girl, and he's out of jail, no jail time. So you already know he didn't look like us. Right. And so I guess the highlight of that story is we've had guys going to jail for all kinds of crazy stories, getting shot for crazy stories, and here's a guy who sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl and is serving no jail time, reminiscent of when the kid got in trouble and they blamed it on his richness as to why he should have got out of jail, affluenza. So Wendy Woe,
Yes.
we'll give you the election from last week, and you can share your thoughts on Wesley Bell and Rachel Prody.
Oh yeah, because I saw that Rachel.
Look at
Wow.
man, she
Almost had it.
yeah, I almost had it. Yeah, I'm just talking about yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, so we're
well, you just got one right there on the
but
subsidy.
Rachel should be proud, just equally as proud, because it was a blessing to see that all of her grassroots came to light.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she came out and she talked to us, shedded a lot of knowledge on us.
Mm-hmm.
And I can honestly say the few people that I talked to were also impressed by the knowledge that she dropped here on the show as well. So we were really gratefully enriched by all of her words that she gave us. So I'm excited about that. As far as Wesley Bell, equal excitement right there, because I noticed that reaching out to some of my friends that from out of town even, they were excited for us, because that right there sets the precedence and puts us on a whole nother stage in itself. And
the national news was excited.
Yeah.
He was on Lawrence O'Donnell.
And he was on wow, lady name skipped.
Leave her alone, man. There you gonna messing her up.
That's okay. Everybody got input, but we were all just so excited. I had friends from Texas, some from Florida, that all had some type of relationship with the brother Wesley Bell at some point, and they were all in that whole excitement just for us.
I got a question for everybody. I heard that he was going to bring charges now against.
We'll take that. We'll take that. We'll take that next. We'll do that next week.
Yeah, he got a lot of work to do, and we got to be able to stand behind.
Yeah, I don't think
Regardless.
that's true.
Yeah.
So we got to get something for Claude. Claude, I'll give you these two. We got now Claude is the retired officer, so we got there's a video, and I think you may have seen it. The 25-year-old black kid who was sprinting away from the white cop and was killed in Tennessee after leaving a traffic stop. And then we got one more good. What's that? We got one more. We got one more good one for you. Let's see. We'll give you both of them.
That one I don't know. I mean that
you don't know that one yet.
That's so common.
Okay.
Well,
That's St. Louis.
Did you see the police officer who told the authorities he effed up after shooting the guy? Did you see that one?
I heard about that. I didn't see that.
Okay. Well, that ain't Clark.
I'm out the box.
All right. Well, do you want to talk about the Omarosa and the Trump?
Yeah.
Why don't you take that one? Did you see that one?
Omarosa with those well, you know what? She has those recordings that she recorded Trump on, and you know she probably did what I would have done, but what it really focuses on is the lack of tight security in the that. Yeah, in the White House, but that one room, the one room where you go no
situation room,
and she was able to get the recordings in there, and on one of those recordings from a phone call, Trump wasn't even aware that she was being fired.
Yeah,
so he admitted that, and he was kind of saddened by that. Reason why, I think she might have some Bill Clinton type information on him.
But today he called her a dog. While we was on the air, he called her a dog.
Hear what I'm telling you. She might have some Bill Clinton type information on him. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Since she was the only pickaninny in the house. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
So she, that's why they really, she might have that information.
Right.
She might have a P tape.
All right, so here we go. We just these are some. So we'll discuss those two stories. We can get back to those next week, along with anything else. Also next week we'll do we can talk about the Space Force and the craziness of the whole situation. Stephon Clark, the guy that got shot in Sacramento, they crashed one of the officers' weddings.
Good.
And they did a slight protest there. So let's see, what else do we have? We'll talk about the fires next week. The Devil's Fire out in California. We can get to that next week, and then we'll just go over these stories again next week and just kind of run through them. Funny thing, we'll do this. We'll just do. We don't even have to do a story on this. Your girl Betsy DeVos, she said that Trump's 40% approval rating means that he won more than half of the country, and they all support him. All right, now marinate on that, y'all.
The numbers don't make sense.
Yeah. We are.
I heard that was not a true story. That was satire.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, now we're gonna get back to the real. We're gonna get back to the real news, and we're gonna let Dr. Lawrence. You can close us out with any variety of topics, or
Doc,
take any questions you want to take.
Doc, I gotta ask one
But
bad. Doc, I gotta ask one bad.
Sure.
Don't forget about the red meat.
It's been bothering. You know what? I got one more even better than red meat. Now we all grew up in the hood, around the hood, and we knew that certain stores would do things to their meat to make it look fresh. We know that, so that's not really a surprise.
Well, I think the surprise is the fact that it's not blood, that they using red dye to make it look fresh.
Right. I remember you and I talked about that. Yeah. But my thing is this. And it's scary. When you first started the show off, you was telling us about so many chemicals are put in our water, and then you had one of the last things you said that it was some chemicals that are for female chemicals put in our water. So now the hottest topic you see in magazines, on TV is ED. They talking about men with erectile dysfunction, and now it's like, man, how prevalent that is, because I know so many guys, brothers that I golf with throughout the golf and black golf community throughout St. Louis, and all these guys hustling Cialis and Viagra amongst each other, and these older brothers and some middle-aged brothers as well. Yeah. And
so you asking for a friend?
So no. So what I'm asking is this: I'm married now, I'm in the game, so I ain't got to worry about that. I ain't got to be large no more. I can be heavy.
That means large topic.
Yeah,
okay.
I can be heavy, and I'm all right. So I ain't advertising. But anyway, what I want to know is how is there a drug that you take orally and it bypass every muscle in your body and just focus on that one thing? And is there a diet or anything we can do, or what's causing a problem that we can reverse that to get men back to being normal?
Okay, excellent question. And it's not an embarrassing or an unsightly question. It's a question that sometimes we don't talk about, or if we do talk about it, we talk about it incognito. Like I have a friend, or I have heard, or what you think about, bruh, I'm having. Okay, the first part, what you said is true. It does not make sense. I'm sorry. You cannot take anything. Now I'm going to use some medical terms here that I'm just going to put it down raw, with of course understanding that this is a family program. I think.
Cousin
when Claude, I heard it is.
The cousin name program.
Baby's kids program. Okay, all right. So this is the thing: when you take any type of medicine, ingest it orally, inject it, inhale it, intradermally, or what have you, it does not bypass the organs. The number one way that any chemical gets to any organ is going to be through your bloodstream. It has to get into the bloodstream, transmits to the lymphatic system. That's how it does that. So if you're taking something for the penile area, your groin area, your scrotum area to do with the penis, if they're taking it orally, it has to go through the process. It follows the same journey. It goes through the mouth, goes down the esophagus, goes to the stomach, and from the stomach, it becomes assimilated into the bloodstream. This bloodstream gets to the lymphatic system gets to the nervous system, and then finally makes its way to the penile area. When they're talking about Viagra or some of the other ones, Cialis or whatever, they're taking out what crazy stuff. In fact, they have certain drugs they don't take that weren't designed for the increasement of the penis, but the side effects is the penis increase. So they say that's good for it too. So specifically with Viagra, they recognize Viagra didn't start off as Viagra, unbeknownst. It did not. It was for a cardiovascular problem. But they saw one of the side effects was that it increased the blood flow to the penis. But by increasing the blood flow to the penis, it also affected the heart. In fact, they came out several years back that by consuming or ingesting Viagra was making you more prone to a heart attack. So you may get your jollies, but then you got embalmed at the end.
Michael Jackson daddy.
So I remember just a little bit when I was a medic and I was on the fire department out here in Kirkwood, Glendale, Washington Woods, and we got a call. The police were there, the fire department was there, and I was the medic. I had all that whole area. They made me in charge of it. So I got on the scene, and the policemen were outside laughing. And I was like, what's funny? And they said, you don't know? I said, no, we just got here. He said, well, we got a call for the guy that had a heart attack. I said, okay, I'm here for the heart attack. Where is he at? I said, well, he's upstairs. So we went up in the apartment, and the guy, sure enough, he had a heart attack, past tense. He was on the floor completely nude, and they covered him up with a blanket. He had a heart attack.
He had a tent.
But he was in the process of being engaged in certain activities which involved a horizontal polka. And the young lady was still there. She was just belligerent, just hysterical. And they thought it was humorous that he had taken Viagra, began to salute, and had a heart attack, if you know what I'm saying. So when you take anything like that in your mouth, it has to go through that biological, physiological process of getting to that place. But it's not designed for that originally. Now, people want the false misunderstanding that by consuming that particular product, that it automatically reverses or helps with erectile dysfunction. What they're not looking at is what causes the dysfunction, what causes that particular organ not to
stand up,
salute. Okay, so they look at the penis itself. It's not just an organ that it doesn't have bone. You know,
like a dog.
That's a bad pun. You know, it doesn't have a bone. There are blood vessels around the muscular tissue. Why am I feeling uncomfortable talking about this?
He done turned all the way around.
I think I have full attention to the whole land. I don't know. Full attention. But anyway, you got blood vessels, you got muscular tissue, you got fat around there, you got these tissues they're called carbonoceum. What happens is when an individual gets excited, electronic excitement, visual, physical, tactile excitement, the brain sends a signal that says, hey, increase the blood flow. Heart pumps faster, blood vessels dilate, become bigger, muscles begin to contract and expand, and you have what's called an erection. When there's any kind of dysfunction along the way, that pathway, then they don't address that. They simply say, we want more blood flow to cause the penis to become erect. That's what they look at. So what happens is it can't bypass or it goes to the kidney, the liver, the pancreas. It goes to all those organs, and it affects them too, with the end result of just having an erection. It doesn't cure the erectile problem. The other part of what you ask is, what causes it? What can you do? Are there any natural remedies? Most definitely. But again, the body will correct itself if you cooperate with it. So you have to determine what's causing that particular problem, the part of the anatomy, to malfunction. Now I'm going to do a quick jump, and I'm going to give you, it's going to lead directly into why they're having that problem. Did you know in our beloved state of Missouri, did I say Missouri?
Yeah.
Missouri has the lowest, among men, have the lowest sperm count.
Gotta be died.
Newsflash. Missouri has the lowest sperm count.
Because we got a London son here messing us up.
Wow. Why is that? Is it nutritional, dietary? Most definitely. Is it intentional? Yes. So if you have a low sperm count, that means erectile dysfunction is going to be a brother to that problem. It's like they used to say, you know, you got a gun, but the blanks is in there.
Right.
But now they don't say that no more. You got the gun, but you ain't got no ammunition. You got the equipment, but it's malfunctioning. So they give you a drug that simply tells the equipment to be more firm, but it don't correct the problem. So what causes erectile dysfunction? Did you know it can be psychological? It can be nutritional. It can be physiological, which means there's something in the anatomy of those structures that have to cause the person to have an erection. So instead of dealing with that, we simply say, don't figure out the cause. Let's just do the end product, erection. And then they realize once an individual has an erection, it's not controllable. It's at the mercy of the chemical simply wearing off. They call it a half-life. You're going to have an erection for maybe 2 or 3 hours. Anything longer than that, you need to go to the hospital. That's a problem. So back to what I mentioned about, in Missouri, we have the lowest count when it comes to sperm. Why is that? Because we're inundated with chemicals, toxins in what we drink, what we eat, what we breathe, what we put on, what we're around, and the one thing which you may not be aware of is this.
Radiation.
You see, yes, did you know the smarter your phone is, the more radiation output it puts out? Did you know in Canada, they tried to get it passed in, I'm going to stay on the subject, in California. Wow. When you buy a cell phone, they're supposed to have a disclaimer that says, this thing emits so much radiation that you're not supposed to have it near certain parts of your anatomy. In Canada, in all the cell phone shops, they got it posted on the door, but not us. Why is that? The smarter this thing is, the more activities that it does, it can cause a lot of problems. They found, in fact, this is for, I'm going to leave all these notes with you all. I'm going to leave this with you all. That's why they recognize that our kids, young kids, even in medicine, we had to come up with a different term for a problem that has never been on this planet linked to this thing. You know what we call that problem? We give you fancy names for some of the most crazy stuff, and it don't make sense because we can make up words and get paid for it. There is a problem that causes a cervical issue, it causes a back issue, it causes a scapular issue, it causes a problem with these muscles. You know what's caused by? People walk around doing it with their phone. A constant bend. And they have to see chiropractors, see neurosurgeons to correct the problem. Some undergoing surgery. All they got to do is put this thing down. So they went the opposite. What's it got to do with the ED? Where do most men carry these phones?
In their pocket.
Back pocket.
Or?
Front pocket.
Or?
On their hip.
On their hip. Next to what organs? Reproductive organs. Kidneys, penis, testicles. And this thing is constantly emitting radiation. Did you know? They say when you're home and you plug your phone up and it's charging, that it should not be next to your bed, next to your head, because this thing is still emitting radiation. In fact, in that article, they found that our kids, most of the adults, are having problems with brain tumors and multiple sclerosis because this thing is, they're always on the phone. That's constant straight shot to the brain. Radiation. They have all these brain tumors, brain cancer. So for us men, we got these things in our pockets and all these little things like that right next to the gonads. Well, it affects the sperm count. It affects the sperm count. Then there's another subject that deals, that's why we have ED and all these problems, not to mention the foods. I'm going to mention there's one food source. I hope you all don't get mad at me, but if you do.
This to help or to hurt us?
Both. It's like when you go to have surgery. He cuts you to heal you, but he shouldn't cut you to kill you. You all drink milk?
Almond milk.
I'm going to leave this article with you, but I'm going to just read some highlights, and they're going to tell you something fascinating. I don't know if you can remember, they had several commercials out years back. It was called Milk Does a Body Good. You seen any more of those?
No, you don't see them as much.
And before that, they had another one that says milk helps build body strong 12 ways. Wonder Bread. Don't see that no more. Then they went to the celebrities. They had all the celebrities in the sports, entertainment, music industry, and they always said their photo with a milk mustache. When's the last time you saw that?
Not since KFC.
You know what? you know what? Now they got grease around their mouth. You know why they don't do that anymore?
They got sued.
Why?
They got sued.
Advertising.
Why? Because they lied. Milk does not do the body good. They say you have to have milk to make strong bone. That's a lie. So they got exposed. They still do the milk commercial. Now they say milk, it has something for everybody. And it does, like cancer, leukemia, hepatitis, AIDS, and bovine. Listen to this. I'm going to leave this article. This was back in 2011. I just kept this when I teach. You just made that up. No, look it up. It says, sir, when you wake up and go to the kitchen and pour yourself a cold glass of milk, it seems you are filling your body with calcium, vitamins, and abundance of goodness. That seemingly white beverage may look innocent, but the hidden ingredients packed into the liquid that is popular, a staple in the American diet, is anything but. According to a recent study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, scientists have found through analysis that one single glass of milk can contain a delightful or not medley of up to 20 different kinds of painkillers, antibiotics, growth hormones, and so forth. These medicinal residues found in samples of cow, goat, and human breast milk are from a variety of chemicals used to treat animal and human illnesses. Now, I'm going to stop that and leave this with you all. But when it comes to ED, by consuming that, it affects you. So we can't have a good salute because our flagpole got problems.
Wow.
And the reason the flagpole got a problem is because the soil that is in is depleted of nutrients. And the nutrients that's in the soil comes from sources that it should not be. There is an interesting gentleman, I forgot his name. In fact, he spoke here. He used to work for Monsanto. You know, the popular weed killer they have?
Roundup.
Mm-hmm. He did a study, and they fired him. First, they threatened his life. It wasn't about causing cancer. It was about the chemicals that they produced that was sprayed on your fruits, your vegetables that you consume. What does that got to do with ED? The chemicals that they were spraying on the fruits and vegetables and then the milk and then the grass that the cows were consuming were changing the sexes of men from male to female.
So start growing breasts and stuff.
That's why they fired him. If you Google, don't take my word. Go. You ever heard this? It's a media venue called TED Talks.
Yes.
Go to Google, type in TED Talks. I forgot the gentleman's name, and type in sex change in frogs, and you'll see him. They threatened him first. He chose to keep his statistic and tell the truth. Then they fired him. So he speaks all over the country saying that the chemicals in the weed killers and fertilizers and that they put in your fruits and veggies to make your food grow and to be.
Say his name again.
I don't know. I forgot his name. But just go to TED Talks and type in the alteration of male to female in frogs, and he'll pop up. He's a black guy. Black guy. And yes, they did. And he'll tell his story. So the point I'm saying is by consuming these things that we put into our food deliberately, things that we don't know about, it affects our genes. It affects our sex. So instead of stopping putting those chemicals in our foods that we consume, we want a drug that makes us salute. So that's how we have a problem with erectile, and it's called rightly dysfunction. Now, the opposite of that, can it be reversed? Yes. Yes, it can. Will they tell you? Nope. Because I got to sell some more Viagra. Everything that has a cause, there's a cure.
Dr. Lawrence?
Yes.
Can you
the meat, I'm sorry, yes.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, the meat, and then make sure we get all your contact information again.
Sure,
and then if you want to do the meat, and then we'll wrap it up for today.
Okay.
And you are more than welcome to come back at any time. I know. The doors are always open. But
I thought about that, and
what
we will not announce when you coming back because we don't want no protests and all that out in front of the.
Oh yeah, because ain't nobody finna eat for a while.
First name Keith, last name Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Wife.
All right.
So
throw away the cereal and the milk.
But let me leave you all with this on a good note, a happier note. Okay. As far as the meat is concerned, yes. Remember when an animal is slaughtered, death is imminent. Death is immediate. The blood is not pumping. The heart stops. You can't pump anything. So that blood does what? It becomes stagnant. It's even much more acidic. And before that animal dies, trust me, animals, when they're at the slaughterhouse, they know what's up. So while they're waiting in line to be butchered, their body releases hormones and chemicals. It's their way of getting back at you. They say, you're going to eat meat? Now this going to eat you. So that's in the blood. So when they butcher the animal and cut them up and make all the parts and stuff like that, that blood that's there, a lot of it is not necessarily drained. So they have to give you the impression that it's still fresh, like just slaughtered last night. So it's fresh sirloin, porloin, whatever it is. So they inject it with dyes. They inject it with water. And now they have this thing that's called meat glue, which means there is a process called, am I making you nauseous? I'm not trying to. Then it's effective. Okay.
That's the meat glue.
There is a process that's called rendering. Rendering means, let me say this. I got to leave you on a good note. Every time you see roadkill, someone comes by and scoops it up. What do they do with it? Is it buried? No. That's taken to a plant. We have them in Missouri, and it's ground up with all the other parts, and nothing is wasted. It's used to make glue, syrup, paint. It's as a food filler. It's used in clothing. You have an article that says, you'll be amazed, some of the meat product. It's in some of your bags. If you shop at Sears, that's not plastic. That's animal residue. So when it comes to meat, it's dead. So they have to make it look fresh. So they inject it with dyes, with chemicals, with water. They even use some of the more toxic chemicals, but they said to stop doing it because people are having allergic reactions to it. So fresh don't necessarily mean fresh. It doesn't. Now that I've nauseated you and left you depressed and morose, let me give you some good information. I'd like to leave a health challenge with you. It says, listen, some simple things you can do. Try to eat a whole plant diet with lots of organic fruits and vegetables. It's like trying to eat a rainbow, which means your food should be colorful. Remember, the more colorful it is, the more nutrients and what we call phytochemicals there, like the pigments that are in red tomatoes. Like you had the wonderful bowl of fruit this morning. That was beautiful. You're eating a lot of healthy products there. Try eating a salad every day. That way you're getting your fiber. Now, I said salad. I don't mean drown your salad with all that mayonnaise and all that other stuff. You just want some dressing and can't live without it. You can't just stop. Then put a little bit. Don't put as much. Don't drown. Your salad shouldn't become like soup. Little things. How about this one? This may be a challenge. It says to avoid all meat and dairy products. Are you serious? Who's going to do that? But what you can do is cut down. They have what's called meatless Mondays. For one day out of the week, don't eat any meat. Eat fruits, nuts, and vegetables. That's not hard to do. Then they have those meat substitutes now, like soy products. Soy products are interesting, but when I teach people who want to get off eating flesh, what I say is the soy product, we have soy burgers or hot dogs or cheese, everything, fake everything. That's true. Also, they're supposed to be a temporary, it's like you're on a bridge to get off flesh to eating a plant-based diet. The soy products are like the bridge. The problem is we get stuck on the bridge. And we eat that stuff constantly, and it can cause problems. Even tofu. Too much tofu will take you over. Okay, milk. You like milk? Milk substitutes. Now, there was a news article last week. The almond milk was tainted with real milk. Right. Make your own milk. How can I make my own? I don't mean get a cow and strangle them and do the stuff like that. But you can get your own almonds, blend them in the blender, put some water in it. You can sweeten it up with some honey and make your own milk. There's rice milk. There's all kind of milk. Why do you need? Oh, let me tell you. I got to stop. Why do we drink milk in the first place?
Told us to.
We're
addicted.
Yeah.
Cultural manipulation. We are the only mammals that continue to consume milk after we're weaned. Did you know that? Yep. No animal on this planet continues to nurse its mother when it's full grown. And we got grown, and I'm a grown man. Now, we had a little commercial that we did. It was kind of nauseating, but it was humorous, but it was true. We had a baby calf nursing the mom's teats. And the baby calf grows up and becomes a what? A cow. You know, nursing, right? Then we have a human mom nursing a human baby. The baby grows up, baby's full grown man, still sucking on mama's breast. That's a problem. Why do we do that? We are not designed to consume milk all of our life. It's for one purpose, to give us our immune system and also so that we can develop and get those minerals and nutrients that mom has to give us. After that, we're weaned, stop drinking milk. And cow's milk is not supposed to be in the human body. Cow's milk is for cows.
Well,
okay.
Can you go back just a little bit, though?
Sure.
Because you also mentioned as far as eating a salad, but we had a continuous outbreak of
salmonella.
Yes.
Salmonella.
Okay.
How did we get past that?
Well, excellent question. So remember, the problem is not the salad. The problem is the salmonella. And how does salmonella get on the plant? One, how they're produced. I almost said a bad word. One, the problem is hygiene is horrible.
Mm-hmm. And wash them hands.
Workers not washing their hand. They go to the toilet, come straight back to and pick your stuff. Okay. If it's not that way, it's transmitted. We're talking the early part of the broadcast when you go to the all-you-can-eat. A lot of those all-you-can-eat, you should leave them all the way out. Because the people who not only serving the food have bad hygiene and bad hand washing habits, but even if they are excellent at that food is exposed, and I'm coming in, I'm coughing, I'm sneezing. I don't even got to cough and sneeze. All I got to do is retch over there with the tongs.
That's right.
Now, trust me,
that's right.
Do you get fresh tongs? Of course not. So whatever's on my hand is on them tongs. You get it. And whatever I tell the tongue is on the vegetables or fruit. So the salad become contaminated. So what do? Buy your own salad. Wash it thoroughly. If you really want to get into nature horticulture, grow your own. That's too much like work, but it's too much like right. It's too much like living. So Wash your salad. Even though, and please don't get caught up in this problem. You can buy salads that are already pre-washed. Don't think it's washed. When you open it up, wash it again.
Well, Dr. Lawrence,
again, yes.
We're going to have you wrap up with all the info, to where to find you, how to get in touch with you, where they can call you, come see you, all that good stuff. And we can, as a group, if you have any other questions and you want to ask after we go off the air, you guys can pull them to the side. We appreciate you being here with us today to do not 3 hours, but 4 hours today. Go ahead